Okay, so things are changing. And I did one yesterday where I didn't make a video afterwards because it seemed just so kind of pointless and boring. Um, and it was funny because afterwards I was trying to remember what exactly what my experience was, and I couldn't even remember what it was. Um, this time it was really weird though because it's like I didn't go very far. I didn't want to push myself too far, honestly, today. But it's weird because I did go pretty far, but I didn't. But the intensity, the feeling, the effect on the body, and sorry, I'm still a little kind of out of it. But the intensity on the body was a lot less, um, because I've been building up and doing it every single day, to the point where it's like my body is almost like used to it, and it's funny because like I get to that point where I'm like, whoa, like okay, I'm here, but like I don't feel like that sense like I can't breathe, like literally like I can't breathe, or like I'm not breathing even though I am, and just like this sense of just like almost like I don't know, like ear ringing. I didn't experience any of that this time. It was just like it's like okay, like I've kind of built up the like my body's just used to it. As crazy as that sounds. But anyways, before I forget, and it was funny because as it was happening, I was like, okay, what am I seeing? Like, what is it that I'm even looking at here? And I realized that there was like beings, like people, and it would change constantly. Like I'd be looking at one thing, and then it would be like all of a sudden looking at something different. All of a sudden looking at something different. But anyways, it was like they were like people, and it was like they were like kind of turning, like being rotated, and I was like kind of like seeing them from like different angles, but they weren't always people. And they were like kind of like people that were slightly off. Like there's just something about like their head. It looked like if they're like some part of like a genetic experiment or something like that, where like they almost look like they're like not really human, but they're human, but they're not. Like just something about them is just off. Like their head's like giant, or like uh, and it's funny because even in the other video where I talked about where I was seeing those two girls and they're just like staring at me, like deadlock eye contact. I was like, oh my god. um, Even then, I got this sense that they were human, but it was almost like they weren't human, and there's just like this like what am I looking at here? You know, it was just kind of weird. Um, But yeah, it was mostly just from what I remember and from what I can even comprehend when I was seeing it, which is funny because, sorry, I'll finish my sentence. What I was seeing was humanoid creatures. I don't know. From like, they're kind of like spinning around. Um, and oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, but what's funny about it is how, as I was experiencing it, as I was looking at it, um, I was like, "What am I looking at?" Like I couldn't even. I was like, "Okay, I'm trying to remember what I'm experiencing here. I know it's really intense and overwhelming, and whatever is going on, but I want to be able to remember it." And that was like what I was kind of reminding myself in my head. I was like, "What am I looking at?" And I'm like, "What am I looking at?" And so it's like, even when the experience is, it's not so much that you don't remember. I mean, it is that you don't remember. It is that is something going on, but what's also happening during the experience is you're looking at things, and it's like you don't even. It's almost like you're looking at an abstract painting. Well, I'm sorry. You're seeing things. Again, this one I was seeing things kind of made out of patterns at first, but like really ultimately I was actually seeing like full on like beings, like fully like 3 dimensional, no pattern. They weren't made out of patterns like sometimes, but even when you're looking at them, you don't even understand what it is that you're looking at because you're seeing something that's like so foreign. You're just like, what? And it happens so fast that it's like you don't even, your mind can't even comprehend what you're seeing. It's like even if you do remember it, you still don't even know what the fuck you're looking at. And so I had to like really focus on the intention that I wanted to be aware of what I'm seeing and not just have it flash by and just be like, oh, and then come out of it and be like, what just happened? Because I've had that happen hundreds, maybe not hundreds, but lots of times where I come back and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, that was weird, but I literally don't remember anything, like at all. All I remember was that I felt weird, but that's all. I don't remember anything. Like, don't remember the experience of any kind. And so I was trying to focus on the experience and like comprehend what it was. And still a lot of it I still just don't even know because my mind is just like what? And just stuff happens in front of you and you don't even comprehend what it is. So some of it's still just beyond me. And so that's kind of the whole point of this. This is my strategy here is working out, by the way. That my strategy here is to go not like blast off like like and to the point where you just black out and you don't remember anything, which I did that lots of times. But my what I'm trying to do here is kind of do like just like push myself to the point where I'm like able to be grounded within the experience to the point where I'm able to like kind of be there more consciously, if that makes any sense. Um, One thing that I just remembered just now that was interesting was after the like peak of it, where I was just seeing these weird creatures and they're like kind of seeing them from all different angles, and I'm just like that's a weird whatever that is. I don't know what I'm looking at, but that's weird. Like like this. I just remember this guy now, and it was like he had like a really. It was almost like he had like a wolf head. I don't know. It was just weird stuff. But there's so many of them. I literally can't even remember. It's like trying to remember what the people looked like that you walked. Like if you live in a busy city and you walk down the block, it's like trying to remember what each person's face looked like. It's like I don't know. But what was I gonna say here? Oh yeah. So there was a moment where after the peak kind of started fading away and I started kind of realizing, I was like, okay, it's getting less weird and more just like, There's a point where it's like, I felt like I could kind of control it in my head almost, but not really. But like, what I could do was I could be like I noticed that there's like a separation between it and me. energetically, and it kind of like at one point it was like kind of sending something to me in some sense, and I don't know what it is. Like literally, it's like cosmic trash. That's the terminology that that's the term that I've come up best to describe it. Like it's just cosmic garbage. Like I don't know what it is. It's just a bunch of shit. It's just like blob and shape here and color there, and they're all like a bunch of blobs of like different shapes and different colors, and it's just like I don't know, cosmic trash. That's what I call it. But anyways, it was almost like there's like something being sent like to me, like through my aura, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna accept this and allow it to come more into my aura. Which I usually don't do that because of energy work that I do, because I usually am trying to keep a separation between my energy and the external energies of the world so that I can, be grounded, basically. Um, but this time I was like, okay, so I consciously made that decision, and like things started kind of seeping. It was like there was more things like coming out of it, like towards me more. And so that was interesting. It was like I was consciously interacting with it by the decision to allow it. And then I was like, okay, now I don't want to allow it. And it kind of like it had like these blobs like kind of sticking out at me, and just kind of like froze. And I couldn't really like move anymore. And then at that point, it was kind of like fading away more and more. And I just like was like, fuck it. And I just opened my eyes and got up to record my thoughts. So, yeah. Yep. Hope you enjoyed that.